I want to say this to all the Basketball Wives fans out there who watch the show on a weekly basis. A couple of weeks ago, it was an episode with KRISTEN and Thomas. We're getting ready for dinner, and supposedly I was invited to go to dinner at their house. Never happened.
Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Richie Scott. We're back with another video. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning into the channel. If you haven't already done so, please hit that notification bell button down below right after you hit that subscribe button so you can be clued into when we drop new content right here on this very channel. Follow this hand, okay? We got a lot to get into with Basketball Wives, but first, before we even get into the episode, let's get into the drama that's going on behind the scenes, because Mr. Byron Scott, legendary basketball player, father to Thomas Scott, okay, is basically spilling the beans and calling out KRISTEN, Thomas, and Shawnee. Let's get into this right now. First, he gets on his Instagram and basically goes there and tells everybody the truth about what happened the night that he supposedly stood them up for dinner. You know, when KRISTEN had made that dinner and they had an extra plate there and they said he skipped out on them for the baseball game. Well, allegedly, he's saying he did. Get into this.
I want to say this to all the Basketball Wives fans out there who watch the show on a weekly basis. A couple of weeks ago, it was an episode with KRISTEN and Thomas. We're getting ready for dinner, and supposedly I was invited to go to dinner at their house. Never happened. I was never invited to go to their house for dinner. Thomas and I had talked about having dinner together, but it was never at their house. We had scheduled a time to go. I had a baseball game, which I did go to, and we made arrangements to have dinner at another time. So for them to go on and portray that I was supposed to come over and I skipped it and went to the baseball game instead of coming over to try to handle a family situation or a family matter is ridiculous. I was never invited in the first place. And then for KRISTEN to come on and say that I put the baseball game, so to speak, in front of the family, it shows my priorities is crazy as hell. And her always talking about she wants to fix this, she didn't get close to that. She's made it worse. She's made it worse, because again, she's come on TV and basically said I skipped a meeting that we had already arranged, which had never been arranged in the first place. So I just want all you guys out there to know the real deal on what's happening on Basketball Wives. And again, for the family member who said they want to fix everything to go back on and again try to kick me in the face, ain't happening. But it's all good.
Okay, now something don't seem quite right about this whole situation. Something don't seem right. Let me just go ahead on record and state this, okay? First of all, this family needs to jump off of Basketball Wives and perhaps get on to marriage boot camp or something like that, because they're gonna need a lot more than Miss Shawnee O'Neal to try to work this whole situation out. Every time any of the ladies get together to try to get to the root of the issue with Byron and Cece and Thomas and KRISTEN, nobody can make sense of it. I don't even remember what the beef is about. In my mind, these are types of situations that should be easily managed, because I don't understand why people can't just pick up the telephone and call each other and say, listen, you made me mad. I would like an apology and give it to me now, okay? But anyway, this man is saying that never happened and KRISTEN and Thomas lied on him, okay? Now, what do I think? Personally, this is what it looks like from my vantage point. And y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I don't have no beef with Miss KRISTEN, with KRISTEN or Thomas. I don't. I like her. She is a gorgeous girl. They make a very nice couple. And I feel in my spirit like I really want them to reconcile with Byron and Cece for the sake of A, their family, And then watching the episode and hearing Cece talk about the things that she and Kristen have shared together, I feel like because they're both married and into their family, they need to find a way to bond and make it work, because otherwise it's just a mess. And I don't even know where it stems from. Anyway, let's take it back though, because if what Byron is saying is true and that he really did just reschedule it with them, then Kristen fell into the trap of production, okay? And what I mean by that is, it seems like production is doing some Jimmy rigging with the scenes here. You know what I'm saying? So if he actually was in fact not supposed to come that night and they made it seem like he just skipped out on them, guess what? That's some trickery, Kristen. And I'm blaming you at this moment. I'm giving you a side eye. Now, I can't prove it, but I'm side-eyeing you with this one eye right here, because I feel like it's something funny going on. It's something funny and fishy going on, and I don't like it, okay? I feel like as a viewer, I am being duped and deceived, okay? But that's how I feel about it. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, because you know, sometimes these producers on these shows, now not the show I was on, let me just go ahead and state the record. But sometimes these show producers, they can manipulate things to make it look how they want. And if you fall into the trap of production, what I mean by that is if they coerce you to come on along with it and do something for a little bit of cash, then you're gonna be responsible for making yourself and your castmates look crazy, because the truth is coming out on these types of shows nowadays, because the people are not here for the lies. So that's that. He also called, hold on for 1 second, because he also called out Shani for making fun of Cece. So he ain't like that either. But low key, when Shani was making fun of Cece, it wasn't nothing but the truth. It wasn't nothing but the truth. Cece always act like she don't know what was said, who said it, and why, and she always jumping up from the table and threatening to leave. And if she say, now if I would take a drink for as many times as she said, you will never see me again, but I think I would be passed out somewhere drunk and in a hospital if I really did take a drink every time she said that. I can't tell you how many times this chick has got up and made an exit. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. In my past relationships, I have made some very dramatic exits, but honestly, I don't feel like I made as many as Cece has made in the time since she's been on this show. And if she's gonna keep threatening to leave, I really wish she would just go ahead and do so, because every time she threatened to leave, I just be like, well, girl, you still here. You still here. Stop threatening. Just leave. Okay, but anyway, let's get into what actually happened on the show, because we're gonna get into the major things. First things first, Shani, kudos to you for separating these ladies, because they need to all be in separate houses on this type of trip. Actually, they need to be in separate houses, take separate dinners, do separate activities all together. They don't need to come together until one final dinner at the end, because it's obvious that these ladies can't get along for nothing, okay? I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the dinners, okay? Because that's really the gist, the crux of each episode, of this episode. They get to Costa Rica. It looks beautiful and stuff, but it seemed like there was a haze over everything, so I don't really know. I hope Costa Rica don't look like that in real life with some type of sepia filter on it, but I guess I'll have to travel there myself to actually figure it out. Anyway, I am so happy to hear that Cece is cancer-free, and I was hoping that this would be a moment for her and some of the other ladies to bond, but lo and behold, no, it was not. And here is why. To be very honest with you, I kind of wish that Kristen had taken that moment to just pull her to the side and say, look, girl, I am so happy that you are cancer-free. Let's start over. What can we do to make amends? Because sometimes it's not even about going back and forth about the wrongs and the rights. It's about moving forward and looking at the relationship you want to have with the person and figuring out how you start from there, okay? But since that's not going to be done, Evelyn made sure of that. Y'all, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Y'all know I like Evelyn, but at the end of the day, she was the catalyst for a lot of the drama that occurred at that first dinner. Her dislike for Cece is very much showing through, and I felt like had she not interceded in that conversation, it had a hope of ending a little bit differently. But once again, we get Cece threatening to leave, and they should have just left at that point. They was already trying to determine if they was going to go to the dinner, that being Jackie, Cece, and OG. But at the end of the day, it's like when they decided to come back, Feby. First of all, Now, everybody done talked about Feby all season long about how she backed down every time somebody come at her. This is the first time that she did not back down, and every time all I'm seeing in the comments a lot of times is about how Jackie contained herself and how Feby couldn't really come for her. But at the end of the day, Feby did basically go at her extra hard, calling her ears fat, old, and all kinds of other things that I don't really like talking about on this channel because I don't like those types of words and that type of language. Here's my thing. If I'm arguing with you, we're gonna stay on the subject that I'm arguing about. But one thing that I will never do in an argument with somebody is I will never talk about that person in how they look. I will never call them names. I'm never gonna do any of that. But that's just me being a grown man. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I commended Jackie. I do commend her on maintaining her composure and not giving anybody a moment. But honestly, with the things that Feby was saying, she might have had some a moment that night. Okay, I think I might have reached across the table and thrown some type of drink at her. If I was Jackie, not if I was me, because me, I don't respond to things that I don't like, and I don't hear people that I don't like either. Back to what I was saying. So that was dinner number one. Then the ladies separate the next day and they go on their own little field trips. I, for one, was very pleased at the way Shawty broke down this group because it had the potential for greatness. One thing that I really actually loved was seeing OG and Feby trying to bond. That to me is where I would like to see the ladies go moving forward. Sometimes the regurgitation of old drama is very boring to me and I'm over it, okay? And so I would really much prefer them to try to bond a little bit more so we can see some actual sisterhood. And you know what I'm saying? I just would want to see that. I'm tired of seeing these same stories. Meanwhile, Cece, we find out, hates KRISTEN and she is over Evelyn. Basically, she called her gutter snipe and all that other kind of stuff like that. She didn't say gutter snipe, but that's just basically what I heard, okay? That's what I heard. Meanwhile, Jackie is telling the other group, that's Shawty, Evelyn, and KRISTEN, that Feby is on crack, and that's what she heard on the streets, and that's why Feby is so skinny. Now, here is the thing, Jackie. I don't believe this girl is on crack. I believe that she does smoke a little herb and things, and she drank too much. Now, when she said she was tweaking in her confessional, I don't know if that meant that she was extra hot or if she was actually on something. Let me know what that means for y'all, because maybe I don't understand what tweaking actually means. Is that another word for drunk? I mean, am I just off in my slang? I really don't know. Somebody please comment down below, chime in and let me know what tweaking is, because I really don't know. So I was confused and I didn't know if Jackie was right or not. I hope the girl ain't on drugs though. So sometimes I'd be like, you too pretty to be doing all of these drugs and stuff like that. When I see people that's on drugs, you know what I'm saying? I be thinking, how has this happened to you? Where did life go wrong? Anyway, I digress. But can I go back to something? Feby, you brought this candle with you all the way to Costa Rica. Why? Evelyn was right. You could have brought yourself anything else in this luggage. But in my mind, that lets me know that you had an intention to, at some point in time, go off on Miss Jackie Christie. So that whole attack on her was actually very calculated. And I don't necessarily believe that you were so drunk that you don't remember what you said when you went off on somebody that hard. Point blank, period. If you are drunk, chances are you're not even going to be in a place where you can really consciously go at somebody in a real meticulous way. So I just don't know. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments below. I don't really know. I really can't call it. All I know is that they go to another dinner. And sometimes I just wish they would just stop eating, okay? Because every time they go to a dinner on the show, some type of ponderosa, it just turns into a complete disaster. And so now we got Evelyn ready to confront Cece all over again. And I'm like, oh my God. Listen, For real, can we just cut straight to the chase? I just want to see why Evelyn and Cece get to running after each other or whatever, and OG get to tackling Evelyn and throwing her in the bushes. Can we just cut straight to that? Because that's really what we want to see, okay? Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Let me know what y'all think about this whole Byron, Cece, Kristen, Thomas situation. Who's the lying party? Is it Byron and Cece, or is it Kristen and Thomas? Let me know down in the comment section below. Guess what, guys? I'm going to see y'all in the next video. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell button. I'll see you in the next one.